How is he only a 90 overall? You have Richard Sherman, some old man who can't run for jack.
You need to put respect on Zach Ertz's name and a bunch of other tight ends that should be higher than Rob Gronkowski.
The man hasn't played since 2018. He's not going to be the NL MVP.
And then he goes onto an Instagram live where he seems to have been under the influence, smoking a cigar.
I don't think MVP is indicative of the best player in the league.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We're here with episode number 31. It's been a great ride, one through number 30. As you just saw, last week we hit a benchmark with 200 followers. We just hit a benchmark of 300 followers. So fast. Keep up all the support. We love seeing it. We love hearing from all of you guys. No need to waste any more time. We're going to get right into the number 31's a very interesting number. A lot of good baseball players here. I don't know if anyone else is going outside of baseball, but Matt, I'll start with you.
You did say there's a lot of great baseball players. I'm not a big baseball, historian myself, but I did reach out to Tommy. I asked him between a couple players, so I got to go with Greg Maddux. I'll give you some stats. Obviously, I don't know a lot about him. He's a 4-time Cy Young Award winner, which is absolutely amazing. He's a World Series winner too. He had the 4-time ERA title, 8-time All-Star, 18-time Gold Glover, and he is a Hall of Famer. He played with against a lot of great batters too throughout his career span. So I got to go with Greg.
Very good pick there. The 4 Cy Youngs is definitely a big achievement. When last week we saw that Nolan Ryan didn't have any. Mike, I'm going to go to you here.
I think, Greg Maddux is awesome, and he's definitely one of the best pitchers of all time, but I need to go with my man, Mike Piazza. This guy's one of the best hitting catchers of all time. He averaged over 300 for his whole career, hit 400-plus home runs, over 1,300 RBIs. He was a 10-time Silver Slugger, 12-time All-Star. He also was a Rookie of the Year, and he was inducted to the Hall of Fame. I know he appeared in one World Series with the Mets in 2000. Unfortunately, they lost that to the Yankees. But I got to go with Mike Piazza here. He did something that catchers just don't do anymore.
Tommy, who are you going with here? I mean, I know you're not straying away from baseball.
Oh, of course not. It's good to be a baseball person, but I'm going to go with somebody else here. I'm going to go with Ichiro Suzuki. He is one of the best hitters of all time, no question about it. What he was able to do in Japan and then in the major leagues was just incredible. He had over 1,000 hits there, and he reached the 3,000th mark here. What are we laughing at?
You were just lagging. Just continue.
I was lagging. I apologize. So he came to the major leagues, won the Rookie of the Year. He impressed right away. He has a cannon for an arm. He was incredible. He was like a human highlight reel. 10-time Gold Glover, 3-time Silver Slugger, and he won 2 batting titles. Ichiro is amazing. Over, as I mentioned, 3,089 hits. He didn't have a lot of power, only 117 home runs, but you look at his lifetime 311 batting average, it speaks for itself. He was outstanding, spent most of his career with the Mariners, and he was great.
I mean, I'm going to have to go with the human highlight reel himself, Ichiro Suzuki. I'm going to agree with Tommy here. He had an MVP on his ledger, 10 All-Stars, 10 Gold Gloves. He had a 59.7 WAR, which is a stat that Tommy normally mentions that he just didn't mention today. And he mentioned he had 3,000 hits in the MLB. Total with his career in Japan, he had 4,367 hits, which is, the contact that Ichiro had, the 117 home runs, that's not a lot. That's not a big number anymore in the MLB. But 3,000 hits, definitely an achievement in itself. And 4,000-year career, that's a pure baseball contact hitter right there. And another thing that he added to his game was a lot of speed. He had over 500 stolen bases in his career. And, I think the best thing that I thought about Ichiro was last year, the MLB season opened up in Japan with the Mariners versus the Athletics. And Ichiro played that last series with the Mariners, and then decided to retire over there in his home country of Japan, which I just thought was absolutely amazing. So I'm definitely going to have to go with Ichiro Suzuki here.
I think one player we're missing out right now is Reggie Miller. One of the best sharpshooters of all time in the NBA. He was just an absolute killer for the Pacers. I think he was the only person to take Michael Jordan to 7 games. So this guy was an absolute threat from deep. Almost 40% in his career from deep. He was a 5-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA player, and he's also in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he necessarily compares to, Greg Maddux, Ichiro Suzuki, and Mike Piazza, but I think he's another person that we can mention.
Matt, it looked like you wanted to talk before Mike's computer interrupted us.
Yeah. Well, before this, I actually texted Tommy who was better, Mike Piazza or Greg Maddux. And he said Greg Maddux. So I thought he was going to go with Greg Maddux. And then he actually absolutely threw a curveball at me, but I'm not surprised at all. The only question I have with Ichiro is he only wore 31 for 2 years. Yes, those 2 years were with the Yankees. So, of course, that's what you point out. But, he was
I didn't even know Ichiro wore 31. I was like, what the heck's Ichiro? What the I didn't know he wore 31.
Yeah, we had to go with Ichiro here, but, Ichiro
I'm not surprised.
Ichiro is great, but
I mean, definitely the 2 seasons with the 31 are a little. I mean, that kind of sways it a little bit, but I mean, it's Ichiro. I feel like it was time to mention Ichiro.
But he only wore it for 2 seasons.
Not even his MVP season.
Yeah, but see, if we didn't go with Ichiro here, then we wouldn't be able to go with Bernie Williams for 51. So
that's not our problem.
But I'm thinking ahead, though. That's the difference.
Well, you got to pick the best player in the moment. You could have mentioned him, you know what I mean? Just like I mentioned Reggie Miller.
Well you know what? I went with him for my go to number 31. So
okay. It doesn't surprise me at all. It just doesn't surprise me at all. A big day for you, Tommy. We're going to move into a baseball conversation unless anyone else has something to say.
About your favorite team, Tommy. Starting to stank it up a bit.
No, they're going to be fine. We'll get into it, but they're going to be okay.
We'll be right back with Go Chat.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We are here with some baseball talk, something about Tommy's Yankees. We know that Tommy is a beloved Yankees fan. They lost 7 straight before winning yesterday against the Mets.
I mean, I'm a beloved Yankees fan as well.
Okay.
You're not as loyal.
Literally all over his wall.
He's not as loyal.
Tommy is the Kawhi Leonard of Yankees fans.
All right. Sorry. The beloved, two beloved Yankees fans, Tommy and Connor, as well as all our fans, pretty much. But the Yankees are 17-3. They're not at the top of the AL East. The top of the AL East is the Tampa Bay Rays. The Yankees were a team that we just talked about, I would want to say, episode 24, so 7 episodes ago. Can they be stopped? We obviously know the answer now, but are the Yankees in trouble, Tommy?
The Yankees are not in trouble. Well, I don't know. It's hard. I think that in the end they're going to be okay, but right now, obviously, things don't look good. They have some of their biggest stars on the injured list: Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, James Paxton, Gleyber Torres. Tommy Kahnle's out for the year. Luis Severino, he hasn't made an appearance, obviously. He's out for the year. Zach Britton, he should be coming back soon. And they got the boost they needed with DJ LeMahieu, one of the best hitters in the league. They got him back on Saturday, which is definitely helpful. But the injuries obviously have hurt them quite a bit. As you mentioned, they lost 7 in a row. But they're still a really strong team. You look at who they're throwing out there now, obviously that lineup isn't as good as if they had all the regular starters in there. But think about last year. They won 103 games with these same players pretty much that are in the lineup now. And, I mean, I am concerned because you look at Gary Sanchez, he's not hitting and he's not really showing much sign of improvement. And, it could be a struggle until they get all these players back. But we'll see. I mean, the trade deadline's tomorrow. They could use another pitcher. Will they get the pitcher? I mean, you might know the answer to that question when the episode comes out. But, yeah, I definitely think there's a reason to be concerned. But I think that if they get everyone back by the time that, we're in the postseason, I think they will be okay. And you think about the way that the postseason is formatted this year, the top 2 teams in each division will get in, and then the next 2 teams in the league after that. So if they get in the postseason, I think they'll be fine. But there are some concerns right now, yeah.
So just yes or no. We don't need an explanation. I'm going to post this to you. Are they winning the World Series?
Yeah, yes.
All right, Connor, what do you think?
They're in trouble. They 100% are in trouble. I was talking with Mike yesterday, and, I mean, you should have heard the little rant I had. I am not very high on the Yankees right now. I don't enjoy watching a Yankee game right now because, I mean, you think about it. Sure, you get a great start on Saturday from J.A. Happ, and then you throw your bullpen out there for 3 innings to try to complete the game, and they can't. They can't. We saw that on Friday night as well in the doubleheader in both games. Their bullpen is not good right now. Now, maybe getting Zach Britton back will help. But Aroldis Chapman has not looked good at all. I mean, to hang a slider like that to Ahmed Rosario, what did he think was going to happen? Tommy, I don't want an answer right now. I see you opening and closing your mouth. Just let me go off here. Because, trust me, you know I love the Yankees. But it's the biggest fans who are also the most critical. Not saying that Tommy's not a biggest fan.
I think that's exactly what you were saying. But,
That's what I heard.
That was not my intent there.
Well, that's exactly what you said.
On Saturday, the Yankees lineup, only 2 of the 9 hitters in the lineup were above a 200 batting average. Now, I wish we were having this conversation on Thursday's episode because by then we would know the trade deadline to see if the Yankees get another piece. Because if they could get another piece in the trade deadline, maybe that trouble eases a little bit. But right now, with the names on the IL, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres, I mean DJ Just coming off, this is a scary time right now for the Yankees. I mean, Aaron Judge came back, had 3 at-bats, and now he's back on the IL because he strained his hamstring. It's – right now I'm not having fun watching Yankee games because it's either a 1-0 win, a 2-1 win on a passed ball on a game that they should have easily won, or they're getting blown out. So unfortunately, I disagree with Tommy, and I do think the Yankees are in trouble, and they're not my World Series pick anymore.
Mike, what do you think?
Listen, obviously, the Yankees are extremely talented, right? That's not the problem. The problem is keeping the talent on the field. If the Yankees can stay healthy, and that's a big if, that's a huge if they can stay healthy, they will win the World Series. But I don't think that can happen. I feel like a lot of people overlooked this going into the season. I feel like we all did, as a whole, right? We all overlooked the injuries, Judge getting hurt in the past, Stanton being hurt in the past. But you're getting even more injuries this year. Urshela's on the IL, right?
No.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not on the IL. Yeah, he's going to come back in the second game of the doubleheader, they say today. He did have a bone spur in his elbow, so that is something to watch because that could turn into something more. But, yeah, not as of right now.
Okay, my mistake. But regardless of that, they have countless other players in the IL that are key contributors to the team. Last year, they were able to overcome all of these injuries. Somehow, it was a miraculous effort. It was a fantastic managing job by Aaron Boone. But miracles only happen once in a lifetime. And it's going to be really tough for the Yankees to pull something off this year if these players stay on the IL. I mean, if you have Luke Voit leading off for your team, Luke Voit has been playing fantastic this season. But that dude is like 240 pounds. I mean, he's not going to round the bases very fast for you. You need someone else at that leadoff spot. Even though he's hitting 300+ and he's hitting bombs to left to the opposite field, he can't be leading off for you. There's something wrong with your team if that's the case. The rest of their lineup with LeMahieu coming back outside, Frazier, LeMahieu, and Voit, they have no one. Their bullpen depleted. Britton's out. Chapman's not playing up to par. It's just not acceptable for the Yankees. And the other day where they won on a wild pitch, congrats, they should have won that game. But it's a wild pitch. they kind of squeaked out that game, just barely. And then today they're losing 4-2 to the Mets right now in the top of the sixth inning. We'll see if the Mets can save that game. But I definitely think the Yankees are in trouble. They need to be able to keep their players on the field, and they haven't done that this year or in past years.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Tommy. I don't know. They're definitely in trouble.
No,
I mean,
but
it sounded like you were reading off Santa's nice list when you were reading the IL. Like it was just such a long list. I don't know how you think they're going to be still win the World Series.
Okay, right now the bases are loaded in the top of the sixth inning with 0 outs. Okay. And Michael Conforto is up to bat. Heller is pitching. I don't know who that is, to be honest.
That's it right there. They have Ben Heller coming out of the bullpen. I mean, you're down 4-2 in a game in the top of the sixth, in a game that you need to win. You need to right your ship right now, and you bring in Ben Heller. Why not? Why don't we bring in one of our more veteran guys with no outs and the bases loaded? Let's bring in an Ottavino. Let's bring in a Chad Green. Let's bring in one of these players who are known and who are veterans who have been in these situations before. Now, Tommy, I know you made that face when I said Chad Green, because Chad Green has also been a very bad pitcher in the bullpen this year.
Well, yeah, but see, the thing about those guys is they've been used a good bit over the past couple of days, and I don't know. I feel like it's a thing where if they were bringing in Chad Green right now, people would be saying, what the heck are they doing? Because he gave up the lead in the past 2 games, and he has struggled, like you said, but I don't know. Now, Matt, you were saying that. I was saying I am concerned. It's not that I'm not concerned, but, I think they are in trouble to an extent, but I think it's still a very capable team, and I don't know. I just think that they do have a chance. Obviously, they're in trouble. I mean, they have their biggest stars. They have like 3 players that could potentially win the MVP that are on the IL right now. So obviously that's a huge concern. And, that's devastating for any team. But I don't know. I still think it's a very capable team. And like Mike said, too, if they're healthy, they can win the World Series. I think that they will be healthy by the end when they get into the postseason. That's my hope. Right now,
you said they would stay healthy. I'm just thinking the last time we talked about the Yankees, you said they would stay healthy the whole year.
Well, I'm not going to predict that they're going to have injuries, Matt. I don't want to see anybody get injured out there. I couldn't predict that all this would happen, but, I mean, it's just the game of baseball. Obviously, they've had a lot more injuries than most, and it's hurt them in a major way. And, the team is not in good shape right now whatsoever. But I think that there's enough time in the season where they can get everybody back. In the nature of this 60-game season, with the way they have the new postseason format, like I said, it's very easy to get into the postseason, and anything can happen once you do. And if they get those guys back, I think that there's still a force that can win the World Series. But, no, you all made really good points. I mean, they are in trouble, and they just gave up a couple runs right there. So it's not looking good for another win in game 1 here. But there's still time, and a lot of things can happen, I think.
No.
Well, I just wanted to, pose a scenario, right? So say you do get these players healthy, right? Who says that they're going to come back and perform the way that they were performing at the beginning of the season, where they had a whole training camp to get into shape, where they had preseason games, right? Are they going to come out against players who've been playing throughout the season and play up to their normal standards? Do you think that
right.
if they do come back, but not only is their health an issue, their performance after being off for such an extended period of time is another issue that the Yankees have to worry about.
No, I mean, it is a good point, Mike. And, it is possible that they come back and they're not performing. And it would be understandable if they didn't. Like you said, a long layoff like that, it would be difficult. And, it is possible that, I'm not saying that, they're definitely not going to win the World. I don't think that it's a possibility. I don't know. I can't get the words out. But I think it is possible that they won't win the World Series. That is a real possibility. but I still think that they have a good core that can help them, especially if they get them back. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Now, Tommy, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're around the trade deadline, and every year it seems like Clint Frazier's name is brought up around the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Do you think his play this season and how he stepped in for these injured players and has played well and has been hitting home runs, do you think that saved him another year in a Yankees uniform?
I definitely do. And you listened to Brian Cashman the other day. He said that he's hoping that he's in a Yankee uniform for many years to come. So it kind of sounds like now he's kind of changed that. It sounds like Clint Frazier really isn't an option anymore. And he definitely can't be in this season. Even if he wasn't playing the way he is, I think you would still keep him because he has that high potential. He's much better than any other options they have in the outfield. That's for sure. And, the bat's never been a question. I mean, you've seen him in the minor leagues. He's been outstanding. He has some of the quickest bat speed out there. So he's been great. And his defense has improved as well. And, I've been impressed from what I've seen. I think that he's going to help the team a lot. But, yeah, you're right, Connor. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I feel like especially with both Stanton and Judge out, they need Clint to be performing the way that he is now, and I feel like it'd be a huge mistake to go out and trade him just for another starting pitcher. What are you going to trade Clint Frazier for? Are you going to trade him for a different bat? Clint Frazier is a young, up-and-coming player with a lot of potential, and you need him as insurance for Judge and Stanton. This is why other professional sports teams go out and draft a backup quarterback in the second round like the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts, right? This is why you see all these teams putting so much value into injury insurance, especially with injury-prone players like Judge and Stanton. So I definitely think it'd be a mistake if they were to deal Frazier at the deadline.
Now, one more question about the Yankees, then we can kind of wrap this up, is it time to call Aaron Judge injury-prone?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Matt and Mike on this one. I mean, they're not just, before you could say, oh, he broke his wrist, you can't do anything about it. He's pulling muscles like all the time. And, I don't know what that is. Is that the last year people were saying, is that the training staff? Well, they got a completely new training staff, and these things are still happening. I mean, he's strained his calf twice this year. And it's not just Aaron Judge, though, either. You look at Giancarlo Stanton, he's strained muscles. That's put him on the IL. There's other players. So I don't know. That's definitely a concern, though. Don't you think, Connor? I mean, that these injuries, and if you look at individual players as well, like Aaron Judge, it's the same types of injuries. Like, he keeps injuring that calf. So, but yeah, I think he definitely is injury prone.
I mean, obviously, as us Yankee fans, we want to look back to the 2017 season where he hit over 50 home runs and was an MVP candidate, Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, we want to look back at that and say, that's the Aaron Judge that we have. But these last 3 seasons, that's not the Aaron Judge that we've seen. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's still getting those solid home run numbers in a less amount of games because he's not playing as many games. But we need him on the field. We need him on the field both for his bat and, I mean, he's one of the top right fielders in the game. His throwing arm, I mean, we were talking about Ichiro's throwing arm and go to the number segment. Aaron Judge's is better. So
he has an absolute cannon.
It's an absolute cannon. He's catching the ball on the warning track, and people aren't running from third because they're afraid to get gunned out at home. So, I mean, they need him there for his bat for him to hit those 30-plus, 35-plus home runs, but they need him in the field to maybe subtract those 30 to 35 runs from a team's score every season.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, he impacts in so many ways. I mean, you mentioned offensively, defensively, and he's a presence in the locker room as well. So he's
the thing is with Judge and the type of injury he has, it's like he's a younger player. It's not like he's 30-plus years old pulling all these soft tissue injuries. When you're that young, when you're as young as Aaron Judge is, and you're pulling all these soft tissue muscles, that's a problem for years to come. All right. Does anyone else have any other comments before we move into our pick'em segment?
It's been a good week of baseball. We don't really have to talk on it because we talked a lot of Yankees, but it's definitely been a good week of baseball. We're right around the halfway point, and it's getting down to it. A lot of teams are starting to make those pushes. Chicago White Sox, they had a great couple weeks here. They're back at the top, and they're fighting in the AL Central. So it's definitely going to be a good second half of the season. We'll talk more about that maybe on Thursday or next Monday's episode.
Welcome back to Go Chat. We just had a great conversation about the Stankies, the Ice Cold Stankies, but now we're going to move in to GOAT picks. We have the leaderboard up. We figured we are going to do it a little different this way. This time, forever, we are going to do the person that's in first. Since he's raising his dang hand, he is going to have to pick first, and then we're going to go down the order. So it's me and Mike are tied. I have Mike breaking that tiebreaker since I've been on the bottom, but we could switch. I don't really care about that. Tommy's on the bottom after the loss of the Atlanta Braves. But we're going to get right into it. Tommy, I'll let you do baseball so we can get that over with.
Yeah, so we just talked about the Yankees, but they're going to take on the Rays this week, 3-game series. Rays are in first place. They're doing very well. They are 24-11. Not too much to say about this one. Who do you have, guys? I'll start with you, Matt.
It's got to start with Connor.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We'll start with Connor. Okay.
This is a tough one. Like it seems like it should be easy because the Rays are hot and the Yankees are not, but it's tough. I'm going with the Rays. I could see the Yankees winning game one, and I could even see the Yankees winning the series because that's me being a Yankees fan. But I'm going to have to go with Tampa Bay here. I mean, they have a 7-1 record against the Yankees this year. So Tampa Bay is my pick.
That's a good pick. Who do you have, Mike?
Connor can't stick with the courage of his conviction. He's saying the Yankees, they could win. They could win game one. They could win the whole series, but I'm taking the Rays. I feel like this is a one-answer question right here. It has to be the Tampa Bay Rays. The Yankees are ice cold. Rays are flaming hot. We're going with the Rays, baby.
Okay, who do you have, Matt?
Rays.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I hate to go with the Rays, and I can't believe I'm doing it. But like you mentioned, the Rays are on fire, and you have to think about the Yankees. They've played 3 doubleheaders this week. Their bullpen's a little depleted, and they're going against a team with really good pitching, and their offense just doesn't have it right now. So I have to pick the Rays, unfortunately. But like Connor said, I think the Yankees can win it, but I am last place in the standings board, and I need my wins, so I'm going with the Rays. But
well, I'll do our second picks, and I will still pick first, but it's gonna be the team behind me. It's gonna be the Miami Heat versus the Milwaukee Bucks, game 1 of round number 2. I'm gonna go with the Heat here, and I'm gonna go with the Heat for the simple reason of rest. They've had extra time to rest and mentally prepare for this series. They know who they're going up against. They know it's the top team in the East. They've been able to look at the whiteboards. They've been able to watch the film and see what they do. Well, the Bucks still had to play another game on Saturday to win. Now, obviously, the Bucks knew they were going to win. We all picked them to win in last week's pick'em. But I think the Heat are going to be more prepared and more fired up to come out, at least to start this series. So I'm going to go with Heat here in game 1. Matt, I'll swing it to you.
I got to go with the Bucks. I mean, you know, we look at that game that they played earlier in the bubble during the regular season or whatever you want to call it. Giannis, he played amazing. I don't think Giannis needs rest, to be honest. So I got to go with the Bucks. You know, but you could say that the Heat won before that earlier in the season, but the Heat were home too. So just gonna go with roll with the Bucks.
Tommy, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Bucks too. I watched them yesterday. They look pretty good, and obviously they're the favorite here. They're a really good team. And the Heat had some days off, which it could play in their favor to get some guys rested and healthy. But at the same time, I don't know. Sometimes a layoff can work negatively against the team. So I'm going to go with Milwaukee.
Mike?
I'm going to go with the Bucks here too. After losing game 1 to the Magic, they came out absolutely rolling for the next 4 games. The Heat did have extra days off, but I feel like that could definitely not play in favor to them. A lot of their game is based on shooting the 3-pointer, so maybe that time off will play against the Heat there. But I think the Bucks will jump out to a big lead. Giannis will continually pound them in the paint. And the only way I see the Heat winning this game is if they jump out to a big lead early, and then they kind of just sail for the rest of the game. That's the only way I see the Heat winning this game, so I'm going to roll with the Bucks.
Heat are going to win this series. We don't have to argue about that anymore.
Oh, hot take.
I don't think it's as hot as the Kawhi being the best player. But we're going to go right in.
Yes.
We could talk about that. We could talk about that next. We'll talk about NBA next episode. But we're going to do, for the NHL pick'em, we're going to do the Bruins versus the Lightning. The Bruins are on brink of elimination. Tampa Bay has the series 3-1 after winning yesterday's game 3-1. So, Connor, you've been high on the Bruins. Are you still rolling with them?
This one hurts. This one really hurts. I mean, in our bracket, I have them winning the title, and right now it just doesn't seem like they're going to make it out of the second round. I have the Bruins circled down on my paper, but I just don't know.
You got to know.
I'm going to say that the Lightning are going to finish up the series here in 5.
Mike?
I'm going to go with the Lightning too. I think that they are playing extremely well right now. They're just playing at a different level than the Bruins right now. Can I see the Bruins come out and win this game? Sure. But at the end of the day, I think the Lightning are going to finish off this series in game 5. If not, then game 6. So I'm rolling with the Lightning.
I'm going to have to roll with the Bruins. I think this is a game that they need to win. They need to wake up. LeBron needed to wake up. He woke up. Or the Lakers needed to wake up. I said late, wake up. They woke up. Clippers needed to wake up. They woke up. Well, Paul George, sorry. Before Mike goes down my throat. Paul George needed to wake up. He woke up. Now I got to go with the Bruins. They got to wake up. I also said the Avs have to wake up, and they won last game. So, Tommy, end us here.
Yeah, there's part of me that wants to go with the Bruins. I think you make a good point, but I have the Lightning winning the whole thing, and I just think they're a better team, so I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this one.
I mean, let it be known, I really do hope the Bruins win because, I mean, I've been so high on the Bruins, and I've talked so highly on the Bruins, and I have them winning the title.
Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup. But they just haven't played well. I mean, they lost 8-2, and then 3-1. So, I mean.
7-1, but yeah, 8-2, same thing.
Matt, if you want to talk about wake-up calls, I feel like when you lose by that many goals in hockey, that's a wake-up call right there, and they did not answer the phone in Game 4.
Well, they need to wake up here. They're on brink of elimination. This is the time that they need to step up. This is the time where Pastrnak needs to step up. Marchand needs to step up. Chara needs to step up. That defense was slacking last game. So I'm just saying that they all need to wake up here to get out of elimination, to not be eliminated. But
I think this was another successful week of pick'ems. Obviously, when did the games start?
Tomorrow.
Games are tomorrow. So, obviously, you guys watch along with the games. We'll be watching along, and the Heat are going to win Game 1.
We'll see. With their stars underperforming, we'll see.
We're going to move into Go to the Week next. Welcome back to Go Chat. We're here with our signature segment, Go to the Week. The leaderboard's up now. This is a big week. We're all tied at 4. I mean, Matt used Luka Doncic twice and got 2 wins out of that. So he's back up here at the top. So I guess this week is gonna crown the king of Go to the Week for this week. Is that how this is gonna work?
I guess so.
Well, I think it was really good week of sports. It was a really good week of good performances. So let's see who we got for Go to the Weeks. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
No, how about we start with the king,
No!
the guy who won last week?
You
Mike,
guys start with me all the time. Why are you scared?
I'm not scared. I'm just saying you won last week. I'll go. I'll happily go.
0 again.
Okay, I'm definitely not getting this 0 this week because I'm going with Donovan Mitchell. He's been absolutely killing it for the Jazz this year. I know Connor and Tommy are extremely happy. they picked the Jazz to win this series. And right now it's looking like the Jazz are most likely to win. He's averaging 37.5 points per game throughout this whole series on very efficient shooting. But not only this, the Jazz are up 3-2 in the series. For those of you who don't know, Jacob Blake was tragically, murdered in Wisconsin this past week. And what Donovan Mitchell is going to do, he's releasing a new Adidas shoe, and the first $45,000 that are made from that shoe are going to support Jacob Blake's children's education, and Adidas are going to match that. So that's a total of $90,000 that are going to help his kids' education. So I think that's a very noble act added on to his already outstanding performance on the court. So I'm taking the combination of his on the court accolades and now his off the court accolades, and I'm taking him for my goal of the week.
Just a disclaimer here. Jacob Blake is still fighting for his life. He's in the hospital. So he did not die.
He was tragically shot.
He was tragically shot. So all of our prayers are with the Jacob Blake and his family at this time. Tommy, let's throw it to you for go to the week.
I'm going to go with Manny Machado of the Padres this week. He had a great week. He went 12 for 17, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. And we've talked about on the show, the Padres, they're playing really well this year. They have a lot of good young talent, and Manny's been a big part of it. And he kept it going this week. He had a really good week, a lot of offensive production. So I'm going to go with Manny for this week.
Matt, are you looking to go back-to-back here with your pick?
For sure, and I think the best way to put me as the king is to go with the king. Yes, I'm not Connor. You guys are probably looking at me like, whoa, this isn't Connor. But I got to go with LeBron James because his performance on the court was absolutely amazing. I mean, we're talking about the last 3 games getting 30 points or more. Last night, literally we were talking about the Trailblazers, how they could possibly, is LA in trouble. He comes out, absolutely plays playoff LeBron. I mean, yesterday or 2 days ago for you guys, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That's a triple-double. The game before that, 30 points and 10 assists in 28 minutes. And he is 14-0. After that, he's 14-0 in the first round. Absolute monster. He's playing like the best player in the NBA right now. That's because I think he is the best player in the NBA right now.
I'm going to agree with that statement there, and then I'm going to move into my –
Wait, hold on. You were talking about Giannis was the best player in the league. You both said Giannis was the best player in the league last
like 5 episodes, like 10 episodes ago. I didn't say last episode, but go to Tommy so we can finish this Go of the Week segment.
Well, it's myself.
It's
I
Kyle.
just went.
All right. Sorry.
So my go to the week is going to be another baseball player. On Tuesday night, last Tuesday, he pitched against the Pittsburgh Pirates, wound up coming away with a no-hitter. First no-hitter of the 2020 season, Lucas Giolito. 13 strikeouts and only allowed 1 walk. Led his team to a 4-0 win. And it's the first no-hitter in the record books for 2020. I mean, obviously it's a weird year. Maybe his no-hitter will go down as a different stat considering it was in the 60-game season. Maybe not. But, I mean, definitely a no-hitter in itself is an achievement. So, definitely Lucas Giolito this week. Got to vote for him. I mean, he got himself a 99 overall card in MLB The Show. So, that's GOAT-worthy in itself.
Yeah, I think Connor's going to win this week. With
Tommy, what are you talking about? Donovan Mitchell is averaging 37.5 points per game in a series. This isn't just a one-game performance.
Disclaimer.
This is a 5-game performance.
This week. That was also last week, too. That's just a disclaimer, but go on.
Not only that, but he's also
Go of the week,
helping.
not go of the series, but go on.
What?
It's called Go of the Week, not Go of the Series. I just want to let you know, but you could go on.
I understand that, but he's
Hang on there. Hold your horses. Did you not just pick LeBron James?
yeah.
36 points last night, 30 points in 28 minutes the game before that? That was in the past week.
I mean, listen, Donovan Mitchell does not have an Anthony Davis besides him putting up 40 points in a game, in a closeout game. Donovan Mitchell does not have that help. He's carrying that Jazz team right now. Connor can talk amongst that too. He knows that Donovan Mitchell – we all know that Donovan Mitchell is carrying that Jazz team to hopefully a series win for them.
Man, I wouldn't call carrying. Mike Conley actually went off. Like we literally talked about this last episode. And Mike Conley had the heat. Didn't he have a baby and then he came back? We were comparing it to Mike Trout. So I wouldn't say carrying. He was obviously playing the best on the team, but they also have a team like with Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley when he was going off. So
this is not a time for an argument. Obviously, this is the end of the episode. Go to the week. The only way for us to know who's going to win and who is the true GOAT is for our fans to let us know. So obviously they're going to vote. That poll is probably going to go up on Wednesday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Vote for Lucas Giolito. Don't listen to anybody else. It's been another good episode number 31. As always, it's Tommy, Mike, Matt, and myself. Follow, like, subscribe. Keep hitting the follow button on Instagram. I mean, I just checked in between segments. We're up to 317 followers now. So now we're on the road to 400, and then it's 500. So let's just keep moving forward. Any last words from you guys before we wrap this up?
if you're following on our Instagram, go hit that subscribe button too in our link. Go to our bio and then subscribe.
I think we just hit 70 subscribers the other day.
Yeah.
Nice milestone.
All right. Well, then I guess I speak for all of us that we hope you guys have a safe and healthy week, and we will see you guys on Thursday.